Hey, greetings everybody, and welcome to another edition of Jamie's Journeys. And today we are in South Vietnam, about 110 kilometers south of Ho Chi Minh City, or Saigon. And we are in the town of Cai Be. And this is a place where you can take a boat and venture out onto the Mekong River. And that's what we're going to do right now. So come along and join me as we go for a nice boat ride on the Mekong River here in South Vietnam. Now on the Mekong River, and I'd like to introduce you to today's guide on the boat. How? I'm Jamie.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. So tell us about what we're going to see in the next couple hours.
Now we go to the Mekong Delta, and first one we see the floating market. You know, in the Mekong Delta, we have many floating markets, but that's a special one. Because in that market, most of people, they don't have enough money to buy the house in land. So they buy the boat for living. And one boat, maybe 5, 6, or 7 people live on the boat for the whole family. And they live the whole time on the boat. And normally they can use the boat, the big boat, they go to the farm, they buy something from the farmer, and then they carry here for selling. And when the local people around here, when they buy something, they use a small boat. They come to the big boat, they buy something. And then they bring back their shop inland for selling again.
When does most of the buying and selling take place for the local people?
Yes, just the local people, but many people from other province. They come here to buy something, and then they move to another province for selling again.
Oh, really? And so the buying and selling, does that take place most often early morning?
Yes.
And also late afternoon, or?
Because that's market, they use the boat for living, so they do the training for the whole day, from early morning to evening. But it's very busy in early morning, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. a.m.
Now, for people who come here, they might see the water and say, "Oh, the water is brown; it's polluted." But it's not polluted at all, really, or not.
Yes.
Might be polluted some, but it's really not a polluted waterway.
Not polluted for the water, because in the water we have a lot of silt or sediment. That's why they good for the rice field, and they good for the tropical fruit, especially good for the ladies' skin. And you know, in the Mekong Delta, many years ago, they can use the water from river for cooking, for drinking. But now today they can use the water from river for washing or for shower. And they can use the rainwater, or they get the water from the tap for cooking and for drinking.
Now I see on like on these boats over here, they have like a bamboo pole sticking up.
Yes.
And then there's fruit on top. What does that mean?
Because they are advertising what they are selling on a bamboo board.
Okay.
For example, they are hanging a pumpkin. That means they will sell pumpkin or watermelon. But you remember, something are hanging on a bamboo board, not for selling.
So basically that is a market. People can come over and buy the fruit that they're selling.
Yes.
And normally each boat is carrying one particular fruit?
Yes.
So these are big roosters.
Yes.
They look strong.
Yes.
Are these for fighting?
Yes, that's one that we call it a fighting cock.
Yeah. And so they There's an owner who uses these to bet
Yes.
and make money.
Yes.
And then still legal here?
That's illegal, but normally the local people they like to do that. And when they fighting together in the ledge, they fit there with a very sharp knife.
Yeah.
And maybe 5 seconds they kill each other.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
In 5 seconds?
Yes.
Really?
5 seconds.
He didn't like that. No. Yeah. I don't blame you. So very good. So it's not allowed in the city, but you can do it out in the more rural areas.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this does not empty into that.
Yes.
This is just to cool it,
Yes.
and then it comes out here.
Yes.
It makes rice wine. Do you drink rice wine?
Everybody in the Mekong Delta they like the rice wine.
Yeah.
But normally we don't call it a rice wine. We call it the Mekong water.
Mekong water.
You can try something and then you know how strong.
You mean 45 to 50 proof? Okay, so so this is pretty strong stuff.
Mekong water.
I could add a V8.
Just strong enough.
That's good. Actually, it's very good.
This is the Mekong water, and we have other one. That's the banana rice wine. This one they use banana with a seed. They put into the rice wine for fermentation, and then we can use that one for drinking.
Uh-oh.
That's one is good for lumbago or for baking.
Now, there's like no snakes or anything in
No
there,
snake.
right? No, okay.
Other one that's the banana.
I've seen the
Other
snake
one without
wine.
snake.
We have
Later.
snake wine over there? Okay. That's good too. It's very good.
Later.
Yeah. Wow.
And out here we have other rice, another kind of wine. We move there, we can see the snake wine.
Oh, good. Let's go have some snake wine.
Here we can see we have other kind of snake wine in Mekong Delta, but this one in Vietnam we call it Vietnamese Viagra.
Viagra.
Yes. Because you see, they use the snake
Yeah.
and scorpion.
Okay.
They get the poison from the snake and scorpion. They put into the rice wine with a ginseng.
So with ginseng.
Ginseng, and you
Okay.
can see the red one.
Yeah.
That look like chili, but not chili. That's it, we call it jisu. It's good for your eyes.
So when we see this being sold in markets, it's not it's become a tourist souvenir, but the local people also consume this, right?
The local people they like to use that one,
Yeah.
but not too much because it's very very hot.
It's very hot?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Normally after they had a day walking, for the men during they had their dinner, they get 1 or 2 small cup.
Yeah. And then they feel romantic.
Yes. That's one.
Now, what is in here? This is like many snakes in
Yes,
here.
we had a snake and a bird.
And a bird?
This one.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Don't pull it out.
If you like, we can try.
No.
Why
No.
Because this one we call it Vietnamese Viagra because if the man drinks, the women enjoys.
Yeah.
But if the women drinks, the man can't sleep. With the snake and the bird, they get the poison from the
poison,
tree
yeah.
or from the grass.
And where do they catch the snakes?
Snake. Normally we had a snake farm.
Okay.
Yes. Because in the Mekong River now we have only the yellow snake or the water snake, not poison, just for eating.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they eat the yellow snake, the water snake
Yes.
too.
And
yeah.
the cobra snake.
And the cobra.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, very interesting. And that's a real snake, right?
Yes.
It's not like plastic or something. It's a real thing.
It's a real one.
The real deal.
So you can see a lot of tourists they come here, and some people they ask me where do they put a snake inside. And normally they put in the bottom.
Okay.
They put everything, and finally they make it a bottom.
Yeah. So now this is the snake wine without the snake. Is that right? Or not?
Rice wine.
Oh, that's regular rice wine. Okay. All right.
And this is banana rice wine.
Okay. So interesting.
Okay, here we can see the first step for making coconut candy. You can see on the road we have a young coconut for drinking. This one from the flower to the fruit, it's about 6 months. But this one we consider the orange coconut from the flower to the fruit, 1 year.
And that's because it's so big, you mean?
Yes.
So this is a mature coconut.
Yes.
So
mature
there's
coconut.
young coconuts, like the ones we were drinking.
Yes.
Those are about 6 months.
Yes.
But for the coconut candy, it's the big ones.
1 year.
Do they wait till they fall to the ground, or do they go up
From
and
the tree.
take them? Do
From
they
the
go up
tree.
and get them?
And normally the local people they climb up, or they
Yeah.
can use a long bamboo stick
Yeah.
with a horn. Forget it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And then they have to separate the coconut shell like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they cut it, and we have the coconut flesh inside.
Oh, okay.
Like this, and then they use the machine here,
That pops
But-
right out.
training.
Yeah.
You see, after we training,
Mm-hmm.
the coconut flesh, it became to the powder like this. And then they put the powder here in the net. In the net.
Okay.
This one, then they pressing, sweet.
Okay.
After pressing, we have the coconut milk. Coconut milk. And then they cooking.
Let me ask you, how many coconuts would it take to get maybe a cup of milk?
It takes about 10 coconut like this.
Yeah.
They get 2 liter coconut milk.
2 liters ago. Okay, that's
2
pretty
liters,
good.
Yes. And after we have coconut milk, they cooking. This one we have the coconut milk with the brown sugar. Brown sugar it was made from sugar cane. And we had a malt, M-A-L-T, malt.
Malts, yes.
But you have to mix it together. It's about 60% for the coconut milk and 30% for the brown sugar and 10% for the malt. Because we had to use the malt for the candy soft.
To make the candy
Yes,
soft.
when the candy cool, it's very hard. And now we can try.
Oh, that's very good.
And after the cooking like that, it takes about 45 minutes. And the coconut candy is really condensed. And then they put onto the table. The first one, they have to wait about 15 minutes more for cooling. And then they put into the table mold. Then they cutting. Okay, welcome to see how to make the rice paper inside the house. Before we see how to make the rice paper, you have to buy your ticket here. It's the edible ticket. The rice paper chip. That's one equal made from the rice flour, coconut milk, sugar, and the black one inside sesame.
Very good.
Okay. Then move inside, we see they making. That's what they can use for fire, for burning. And underneath, they use the rice husk for fire, for boiling the water. And they can use the steaming hot for making the rice paper, for cooking rice paper. And this is the other kind of rice paper. This one equal made from the rice flour, water, and a little bit salt. No sugar and sesame.
So this is on a cloth.
Yes, with the mold equal from 2 layers. And one from silk and one from cotton. Silk and cotton with a mold. And that's one after she making, she put onto the bamboo mold, like that. The bamboo mold, and then they trace under the sunlight. After 45 minutes under the sunlight, we had a dry one. And this have the rice paper we can use for making a spring roll.
Oh,
This one.
spring rolls. All right.
This have the rice paper. One day she can make 700 rice paper.
Wow.
700 per day.
Every day.
Every day. And this have the rice paper we only use for eating. Because in the Vietnam we have other kind of rice paper. They can use for painting or for writing. And we had the same way for making the rice paper. Dutch, they can make the rice paper bigger than or thicker than. And then they cut into the rice noodle. Rice noodle.
Yeah.
This one, if they carry to the local market, it's about $4 for 100 rice paper. It's about $28 per day for the whole family.
Wow. But actually, since the average income is about $200 a month, I guess that's a pretty good salary then.
I think that's just enough for living.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's 20,000 dong. It's about 19,000 currently. That can change. So that's $1. Oh, very good. Thank you. Those are good for the sesame. Oh, I'm okay. I'm going to eat these very quickly. Okay, so again, that's the current rate. It's about $1. So there's coffee, there's chocolate, there's 3 color, and I am gonna take chocolate, please. I don't need a bag though. That's okay. I'm going to eat it. Thank you very much. I suggest, should you come here, that you sample this. I've actually been here before and I've had a lot of these. And delicious. Very chewy though. Very chewy, but delicious. All right, we are now going to walk to our next stop. So what are these?
Vietnamese wafer. It's made from tapioca powder.
Oh, a wafer. Oh, it's very light.
The black one is sesame too, and coconut milk, a little bit sugar.
Very nice.
This one in Vietnam they can use to look like a snack.
That's very good. Bye. Eating my way through the Mekong River Delta. Thank you very much. All right, now I'll take it back. Thanks.
This one we had a sticky rice. They put a sticky rice into the sand, and he mixed it together, and we had a pop rice.
Okay. All right, so it's popping. Oh, so these are like Rice Krispies.
Yes, Rice Krispies.
Little snap, crackle, pop, we say.
That finished. And then he had to separate the pop rice with the sand. The sand go down.
Oh,
then use the sand again.
All right.
You see, because it cooked many times, so it become too black.
Okay.
And you can see, is the rice husk. We have a little bit pop rice, small one like this.
Yeah.
This one they have to separate again. And the small one they can use for the chicken or duck.
Okay.
And with the rice husk, they can use for fire, for burning. And this one, after we burning, we can see we have a black one, the ash. We can use the ash for fertilizing for the tree.
Oh.
Recycling everything.
We use everything. Now, what happens to this? What is this? Is this?
This one, that's the first step. And now we move inside how we see the second step.
Okay.
You can see they mixing together. They cooking the coconut flesh. They share like this. And that's the brown sugar. It was made from sugar cane. And we have the malt or the ginger, onion or coconut milk. They cooking together. And when everything became to the caramel, they put the popcorn or pop rice or pop noodle mixing together. And after mixing, they put onto the table mold for brushing.
Oh, okay.
That's why we can see they're making a rice noodle. Rice noodle.
So I see it's all, they got the slats in the wood to measure it out exact each time.
Okay, this is a fresh one. We can try something.
Thank you.
Pork noodle.
So this is the puffed rice. We're just across from the cutting table, but this is cut the same way as that.
Yes, that way.
And so this is it in final form. So these are like, forget what we called them, like
Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies, yeah.
In the Mekong Delta, the popcorn and pop rice or pop noodle is very popular because in the early morning, local people they can buy some popcorn and pop rice with the tea. Look like you have breakfast.
Yeah. Interesting place. Well, it's just going to be a short walk, some great opportunities to buy some souvenirs, but we're going to head back to our boat and get to our next stop. Hello. All right, just as we're on our way out, I noticed this, what I think is just tremendous artwork, and it's all done by Eggshell. And if you want a special souvenir, I suggest the Eggshell. Would you tell us about that and how it's made?
In the factory here, they use the duck eggshell to make the souvenir. The duck eggshell is stronger than the chicken eggshell. Yeah, and they have to break the duck eggshell into small pieces, and then they burn. They burn the duck eggshell, and they can make the different color.
Yeah.
The more they burn, the color become darker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then the worker have to sit down like a statue. And they put one by one. You can see the very small pieces of the duck eggshell. They put first. They have to draw the shape of something. For example, the schoolgirl, and they have to put one by one here, and they stick here by the glue, and then they cover the whole surface by the lacquer resins, and then it stick together.
Yeah.
And then they dry the sunlight. And then they bring in and they cover by another layer of lacquer resins, around 5 or 6 layers like that. So it sticks very, very strong over there.
Yeah.
And you can use for more than 10 years or 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. In fact, we have a couple in our home, and if you get like a series of 2 or 3 in a little scene, they look great in the house, but it's such an intricate work of art. Take a close look if you're in this area.
When the boat hit the ice, they will go right way on the river. And when the boat move far away, they remember to come back their house. And many, many years ago, they set out in the water a lot of crocodiles or alligator or a monster. So when the big fish look at the boat hit the ice. So the big fish, they think that's another big fish with a boat. So they don't attack the boat.
Ah, okay. Now, Al, I want you to know I'm not complaining. I like our boat very much. I like this one better. What is this? This is a tourist boat too?
You know, that's one. Normally we had a big one and a small one like this. That's
Yeah.
one they can use for the with the big one for the family. With the small one they can use for the young couple. After they got married, they spending their honeymoons around the Mekong Delta. Maybe 3, 4, 5, or 1 week on the Mekong River.
They will do that on here?
Yes, we had a restaurant and something like that.
Really?
We cruising on the river 1 week.
Now that sounds like great fun. Wow. Fantastic.
Okay, here we visit the French colonial house. When we start at the French colonial house, but inside you can see they decorate with the Vietnamese traditional house. And now we move inside, we can see something. So inside the house, they decorate with the Vietnamese traditional house. In the middle, we have the living room. That's one with a table here. That's one where the house had a party for the old men and old women sit together in the middle. From here on the left hand side on the table for the young men. Right hand side for the young women. They sit separate. And you can see inside the Vietnamese traditional house, we have many altars. This is the main altar they can use for worshiping family ancestor. Many generations before, and for Buddha. Because in the Vietnam, it's over 80% population, they are Buddhism, and 10% for the Catholicism. And we have the Confucius or the Taoism or the Taoism. And the Vietnam, that's a communist country. Some people, they don't believe anything. And from here, on the left hand side, we have other altar. That's one I can use for the grandfather. I mean for the mother and father of the father. On the right hand side for grandmother. He's the house owner now.
So he would be the youngest son?
Youngest son.
Oh, really? Yeah, hi.
5th generation.
Nice to meet you. Can we get a picture of you? Yeah. Very handsome man.
A local big boss.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's such a beautiful place. So we've moved out into the garden and now it's so nice out here.
Yes.
The trees and the
Refreshment
breeze and
here.
the fruit. These are big. What do you call these?
This one we call it pomelo.
Pomelo.
The family with the grapefruit much more bigger,
Yeah.
and more sweeter. This one in the Vietnam is very good for preventing high blood pressure.
Oh.
Now we can try some tropical fruit in the Mekong Delta.
So it's a little fruit and tea stuff, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect.
We have 4 kinds of the fruit from the table. The first one we have this one in the Vietnam we call it a ladyfinger banana.
Ladyfinger banana?
Or monkey banana.
Okay, of course, watermelon, pineapple, and then
Jackfruit.
jackfruit. And do they all come not from the garden?
Yes.
They come from the garden.
From the garden.
Wow.
They supply by themselves.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Well, let's give it a try.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the river because and the delta because when people back in America they think of maybe the Mekong Delta, they might picture it as not so big, but really the delta runs what, about 250 kilometers wide? Is that right?
In the Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in totally for the Mekong River, it's have 4,200 kilometers from Tibet Chinese.
Yeah.
They flow to the Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and finally Vietnam, 6 countries.
Yeah.
But when they flow to the Cambodia, they divide 3 branches. 1 branch, they flow into the Tonle Sap, and 2 branch, upper river and lower river, flow to the Vietnam. Look like 2 main hands.
Yeah.
One is a 5 branch, and one is a 4 branch. They We are being in a 5 branch
Okay.
up the river. Yes.
And the name Mekong, actually that's different countries have different names for the river.
Yes. Actually, in the Vietnam, before we have the 9 dragons.
The 9 dragons.
Yes, because 5 and 4.
Okay.
From the plane, we can look down. It looks like the 9 dragon.
And that's actually the name of the river for the
Yes.
Vietnamese. What
Yes.
how do you say that name?
Many years ago, we call it Cửu Long.
Cửu Long.
Cửu,
Cửu.
C-U-U.
Yeah.
Long, L-O-N-G.
Yeah.
Cửu is peanut 9.
Mm-hmm.
And Long, that's the dragons.
Yeah.
So we have 9 dragons. Cửu Long River.
Now during the monsoon season, which runs from May to November, is that right? The rainy season?
The rainy season in the Mekong Delta from exactly from May to August.
May to August.
Yes.
Okay.
Or sometimes low to September.
And the river level goes way up that time of year, right?
Normally, the maximum between the low tide and high tide is about 2 meters.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Mekong Delta, we have 2 seasons: the wet season and the dry season. But after the wet season, we had a flood season, the water season. And normally, in this area, when the flood season coming from the road, the water can get 1 meter more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the water get inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on the time, or tide up or tide down.
Mm-hmm. Now the delta, with it being those 9 dragons
Yes.
and being so wide, it has really worked as a barrier for different countries, for people invading from the east.
Yes.
Is that right? Like the people of Thailand, it was said that they first came from southern China,
Yes.
crossed the delta and became Siam, which is known as Thailand today. But they were really protected by the delta,
Yes.
weren't they?
Every country they rotate by themselves.
Mhm.
We had look like the border, the waterway,
Yeah.
the water gate.
Thank you so much. That was great. Well, that was a great couple hours on the river, and you know, I think I'd like to get one of those big honeymoon boats. And
With a king side bag.
take a couple days out on the Delta,
Okay.
because that just went way too fast. So we're gonna go in and get some lunch. Come on, Joe. You know, I just look over this river as we're about to go up and have some lunch, but the river is so big, and this is just one branch of the 4 to the west, the 5 to the west, 4 to the east, right?
Yes.
And let me ask you, when Americans come here too, they remember the war. They remember hearing the term Mekong Delta. There's been movies written about it. Now the American, and of course the Vietnam calls it the American War. America calls it the Vietnam War. But there was fighting that took place all through here.
Yeah.
But it was like small battles, right? Mostly.
It's not too big, but small battle. But I think in the war time between the Vietnam and U.S. American, everywhere in the Mekong Delta we had a small battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
For several somewhere we can see on the right hand side we had a battlefield, and on the left hand side for the cemetery.
Yeah.
But nowadays a lot of Americans they come to Vietnam. A lot of people they ask me, how do you think about American? But don't worry about that, no problem, because the Vietnamese we know not everybody they like the war. And now we are living in a peaceful world. All the people in the world, we are the friend. So don't worry.
I have a friend with a B. Yeah, that's true. You know, the Vietnamese people are so friendly. So are the B.
Don't beat him, no problem.
Don't hit them. See, maybe that's what I shouldn't do. Don't be so aggressive. But the Vietnamese people are so friendly, so accommodating. But anyway, the war did take place around here. But again, the delta is 250, 300 kilometers wide. And a lot of the fighting also took place further to the west.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So, well, that's very interesting, and all the boat traffic. You could have taken hundreds of pictures, and so I hope to come back here and take some more. Let's go have something. I think you have something special for us to eat.
Thank.
All right, this is going to be a specialty fish today, and to me it looks like a piranha, but I don't think it is. What is this?
That's the elephant ear fish, because you can see the fish and the shape look like the elephant ear. So we call it the elephant ear fish. And when the local people, they eat the fish, you can see they put the fish stand up on the plate, not lie down, because they think the fish look like a boat on the river. So when you eat, you have to stand up like that. So you have to eat from side to other side, not turn over.
Okay, interesting. So this is a popular fish from the river.
Yes.
And we are going to indulge. And then I know you're going to get underway and leave us, but thank you so much for just a great job and explanation. And I want to come back and spend some more hours on this wonderful Mekong River in the Mekong Delta. Great job. And everyone should not only see the river, but I'm sure they should taste the fish.
Enjoy your lunch.
Let's eat. Thank you. We just stopped along the road, and whether you're traveling from Ho Chi Minh City to Cai Be or back, or if you're just going around the countryside, no matter where you're going, quite often you'll see in the rice fields, sometimes they're sitting right in the middle of the rice fields too. You'll see what are tombs. And these are tombs for the ancestors. And quite often too, you'll see that they'll have the picture of the deceased. Now, you might ask yourself, why are these sitting in the middle of a rice field? And that is because, especially out in the countryside, these people still don't believe in cemeteries. They believe that the spirit of the deceased, although that they are gone, the spirit still remains, and they want to preserve the memory, preserve the spirit in the area of the family and their descendants. Now, also what I find interesting is when someone does pass away, then what they do, the family goes to a fortune teller. And the fortune teller tells them what is the best day to bury the deceased. It could be the first day, second day, third day, it could even be up to a week. Normally not longer than that. And that is then they will bury the person whenever the fortune teller says. Now the reason for that is that it's supposed to mean good things for the descendants in the future. You know, there's always so much to see along the road. So we've gone a little bit further, and here is a Chinese, people of Chinese descent, Chinese Buddhist temple. Again, worshiping their ancestors, and there's a whole field of people who are buried. And then in the distance, you even see another tomb that has a cover on it, and that is just to show more respect for the deceased. They put a little extra, and I guess we do that back home too. But there's an example of how it's done here. You know, also as you go along the road, something else you might see shells along the road. These are coconut shells. The shell of the durian fruit, which is the one that most Westerners don't like due to the smell. Tops of coconut trees. And this is all used as fuel for cooking. And so everyone has these at their home. And so this family here next door, they actually sell coconuts, but they lay out, they use coconuts to dry, and this will soon be used in their kitchen as fuel. So that's mainly what they cook with, coconut shells and any type of wood. And this is obviously on the countryside, so next time you see these lying around, that's what it's for. And you might say, well, wouldn't people just come and take this or steal it? And no, that's because everyone has it. And again, just a little roadside area here, and we have the durian fruit, just talked about that. We have papaya, mango. These are little melons, often cooked, sliced and cooked with pork. These are local oranges, not very orange, but orange. Rose apple, which are sweet and juicy, and of course the ladyfinger bananas, and the little watermelons. So it's always so colorful to stop and look at the local markets. Well, we've just returned back to the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh City, and I have to say the ride is quite interesting. The last highway we were on was the South Saigon Highway, and that is also called by the locals the Lotus Highway. And we did get a shot of some of the beautiful lotus fields that separate both directions as we went along the road. Further down, or back towards Cai Be in the Mekong Delta, we showed you a shot of the new highway or freeway that opened up actually on February 3rd, and that is in 2010. And you might have seen that on either side of the highway there was a fence, and a barbed wire fence, and that is to keep, well, people and animals off the freeway because the cars travel so fast. But also they put the fence, the government did, all up and down the side of the freeway because they felt that if not, the locals would come and set up stalls and food stands along the freeway, and of course they didn't want that. So they have erected these fences up and down either side. Anyway, we're now, as I said, just on the outskirts of Saigon. and we are in what's called District 7. And I find this very, very interesting because like other Asian cities of the world, this city, this country too, is on the grow, especially here in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. Lots of now new buildings are coming up, which they never had before. The quality of life is changing. And so in District 7, you find a lot of international people. We just passed a big, brand new international school. And also the local businessmen are now residing in these beautiful, beautiful homes. So Vietnam, very, very interesting place to visit, and definitely a country on the grow. So thanks for joining me on another Jamie's Journey. I'm glad you came along, and I hope you come and travel with me again.